Today my dogs and next door neighbours are having a barking competition. The neighbours have got a dog visiting. That's who you can hear barking now. And my two are having a fine old game replying to it. I don't know, enough to drive you crazy. Right, where am I? I'm doing a little watercolour seascape. And it's coming up. Not to be done yet. Oh, there we go. I've just heard in the news today that Moorcroft Pottery is closed. What a shame. I mean, it's such an iconic brand of pottery. Beautiful pottery, truly. And it's gone. Lost for all time. What a shame. They created such gorgeous work, really. And now it's gone. All that skill, all that talent. We can't compete with cheap imports, I guess. That's the trouble. You know? So many of the potteries that this country had have gone. They simply can't compete. People don't want to pay £20 for a cup, which is what you'd be paying if it was made by a British potter. People want to pay £1 or £2, £3 at the most for a mug that the kids are going to drop on the floor, which I can understand, you know. But at the same time, it's all that skill, all those communities, all those jobs, traditional way of life almost. And it's the jobs that rely on the jobs. You know, you close a factory down, the shops that are around it close down because there's no one there to buy lunch, buy newspaper. Not people buy newspapers these days, but you know, buy something to eat for lunchtime, something to drink, a magazine or something. Shops, newsagents, cafes, they all sort of suffer as well. It is such a crying shame, but that's the way of the world, unfortunately. Things change and we have to change with it. That's the way it's always been. That's the way it will always be, because technology changes. And if something can be made for pence, people aren't going to be paying pounds to make it. It's just the way it is. Miserable as it seems. I've got Jim with me, sitting in the window, there he is, watching the world go by. Finally start barking at next door's dog. I've got to work later on. I'm doing a technique called dry, which is basically just painting onto dry paper. Very loose strokes. And I'm echoing the colours of the sky and the sea, because the sea doesn't actually have a colour. It reflects what water doesn't have colours. It reflects what you can see around it. So if you've got blue skies, the water looks blue. Mostly in Britain it looks grey, because we mostly have grey skies. If it's a heavy silt underneath, it makes the water look a bit darker. There. It's not finished yet by a long way. Just use an old jam jar for water, the water pot. No need to buy anything fancy from the art shop. Jam jar does exactly the same job. Whoops, I didn't like that. I'll get a bit of paper and just dab that like that. Add it for texture. Oh, I need to do that as well. Quickly run that to the end. Put masking tape around the edge of the paper. They always do. And put some darker water near the front. make it too heavy. You can make a nice sandy colour now. And then a good way of doing that is Naples yellow with a hint of brown. Yeah, I bought the set of paints that I'm using now when I first got back into painting some years ago. And honestly, you don't need anything like this amount of colour. You truly don't. If I knew then what I knew now, what I know now, I'd be doing things quite differently. But such is life. I'd buy a smaller set of colours. Probably maybe just 8 colours. And learn how to mix them properly from the start. That will speed up the learning process a lot. You think you're helping yourself by buying the big set? No, you're not actually. You're really not. I would say for the 8 basic colours, which is entirely my opinion, different artists will say something different. I'd say lemon yellow, rose madder, cerulean blue, Payne's grey, yellow ochre, raw umber, and maybe, let's think, what else would I put in it? Maybe a medium range red, maybe. I'm not a huge fan of red. You don't often get that much red in nature. In petals sometimes, yeah. But it's not a colour that I'm fond of. It's not a colour that I tend to wear very often. It's not for me. I'm darkening the tide line a little bit there on purpose because it always looks darker than the drier sand further away from the water's edge. I'm going to leave that at this point. Oh no, I'm not. I know what I'm going to do. I'm not entirely happy with that. So I've got this really nice little brush here, which is great for lifting paint out. What brush is it? So it is Royal and Langnickel, and it's just a flat brush like that. You squeeze most of the water out, squeeze it out, and then just run it along the edge. And that's great for lifting paint out. Sometimes when I'm doing watercolour I spend nearly as much time lifting paint off than I do putting it in. Anyway, I'll leave that at this point, let it dry out completely and get back to you about it. One of the things that YouTube videos that show painting processes tend to omit is the fact that they let it dry between stages, and then you have a go and wonder why it doesn't look anything like the same. That's because you didn't let it dry. You need to let it dry between rounds. Just lift that out a little bit. That's better. That's better. Right, I'll get back to you on that one. It's May the 1st and the seedlings are going great. Let's have a look in the second one. Ooh, getting a bit leggy almost, aren't they, some of those? Do they think they're getting enough light? You'd think so, but you can never be sure. And let's have a look at the top one. The third and final one. Oh, some seedlings at the far end just coming up. But there's some other stuff that's not done anything, isn't there? Oh well. You can't win them all. Let's have a look, see what's growing. Clematis. We've had a poppy out already. You see the petals that have fallen. Beautiful California poppy. Welsh poppy down there, it's seeded itself. The Aquilegia's opening up. More yellow poppies, Welsh poppies, and one California. The difference is in colour. Welsh is a lemon yellow, the California one is the orangey coloured one. There is absolutely no sign of those canna lilies growing, which I'm very disappointed about, because I do really like canna lilies. More Welsh poppies there. Oh, these plants need watering, don't they? I've got myself a tub. I have got a tub. And this is going to be a project which will follow over a series of videos. A project. This is going to turn into a patio pond. It's quite solid, robust plastic. So, here's hoping. Let's have a look over here. Oh, lavender doesn't look too happy, does it? There's the lilies, not lilies, tulips. What am I on about? Tulips. They're going over now. And what's that planted itself? A tree. Oh, I don't want a tree growing there. That's going to have to come out, isn't it? Definitely. That's definitely going to have to come out. Let's go and have a look down here, see what's happening. Everything's growing so fast, which is normal for this time of the year. Most of the cherry blossom's gone now. It's wizened and dried up quite quickly. We've had 2 days of furious heat. Loads of poppies due to open there. There's some of the fuchsias that I planted. That's a gap. Something needs to go in there. More poppies. They're about to open. The Love Life bleeding, still gorgeous. There's Rosie and Jim doing whatever they're doing. Tulips are a dark red, almost black. They're sort of a purpley red. Or is it purple with a hint of red? Or black with a hint of purpley red? You tell me. Let's go and have a look. See? Oh, the grass is terrible to walk on. Full of potholes, tree roots. Well, the Aquilegia here is opened up. And a little pot of roses. There were 2 miniature roses in that, but only one has survived. I don't know which one till it flowered. Technically, that was planted in memory of my 2 dogs, Emily and Poppy, whose graves are right here in front. And we did have plants there, but the other 2 dogs just stampeded the whole thing, trampled them to death. Here's my tulips. My beautiful tulips have gone over now, haven't they? This bed needs tidying up. It's full of all sorts. It's got a lot of Aquilegia that's planted itself, which I don't want to grow there, because just here there's tons of it already. I don't want Aquilegia to take over the entire garden. As beautiful as it is, it's one of my favourite plants. Look at this. Some people call it Granny's bonnets or columbine. Call it what you want. Look at the purple on this. It's a gorgeous shade of purple. Absolutely fantastic. Look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? The size of the flowers. So pretty. There's more Aquilegia down there. Some weeds as well that need tidying out. That's the thing with gardens. Always jobs to be done, never enough time. You've got to fit it around everything else as well. Now those contraptions, they are the dreaded forget-me-nots. Which, they don't look offensive like that, do they? But as soon as they've finished flowering, they flop over everywhere. Look really scruffy, and they give me an awful rash when I come to dig them out. When we first moved in, this garden was full of them. Well, gradually, over the years, I've been weeding them out. Ooh, strawberry plants have got a flower on there. So it's coming on, isn't it? Work in progress, as always. As with every garden. And of course, Rosie and Jim are enjoying themselves. Keeping an eye on everything. Supervising, of course. Right, I'll go and do the washing up. Excuse me. What's so gorgeous? Oh, you're missing out on a cuddle. Oh dear, you're missing out on cuddles. Two cricket matches in full swing today. It's very overcast, but it's not unpleasant. Quite a few people walking around the park. It's a bit difficult to film today without people getting in the way. I don't really want to get strangers on film. It's not fair to them without their permission. So I'm just having to sit down for 5 minutes and look at what's going on over there. Rosie and Jim are with me, of course. There's Rosie down there, and there's Jim, sat there patiently waiting. Going to do some sketching in a little while. So that's the Birkenhead Cricket Club over there. And oh, 3 cricket matches actually. There's a third one over there. That's the other cricket club. There's 2 cricket clubs in the park. I don't know why they felt the need for 2 of them. Why they couldn't both join together. I don't know. One's got a fancy cricket pavilion and one's got a shed. The people with the shed seem to have more fun. And there's a match in full swing near me, just going through the trees. I don't really understand cricket. I don't know what the rules are. They seem to spend a lot of time standing around. Then they run up and down a little bit and clap. No idea what they're doing. Don't particularly care either. I suppose they go off for half time, have a cup of tea, or is it a glass of Bims? It's supposed to be terribly English, isn't it? On cucumber sandwiches, which I always thought were absolutely revolting. And they give me indigestion. You can't please everyone, can you? Oh, they're cheering about something. Threw a ball about a bit and they're clapping. No idea why. I've got no food for you today, guys. That's a pretty pigeon, isn't it? A little black and white one. That's a pretty pigeon. And one noisy goose. Hello there. Hello. Hello there. I've got no food for you, mate. Sorry. Why are they called Canada geese? It's not as if they're only found in Canada, is it? They're found across the entire globe almost. They should be called everywhere geese. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There was 7. Have we lost a couple? It does happen. Nature's merciless. But they're growing, my goodness. I've not seen them for a week. Well, that one's found an interesting twig to play with. Another coot nest over here. This one's rushing back with something in its beak. Handing it to its barner. Is she feeding it to little ones, perhaps? Hard to tell from this angle. It's a very typical place for a coot's nest. On a fallen branch, just so... Yeah, she's got chicks in the nest. I can just see them now. I just saw one behind her. Here we are again, opposite the Swiss Bridge. The sky's going ominously dark. Got a horrible feeling it's going to pour down any minute now. So I think it might be wise to cancel sketching and head for home, actually. I don't have an umbrella with me. And this coat is not even showerproof anymore. Hello, geese. There's some more everywhere geese for you. All the birds are singing. Most people seem to be heading for the exits quite rapidly. It's Wednesday, the 7th of May, and it's nearly 8:30 at night. I just thought I'd share the garden with you. It changes so fast at this time of the year. It changes so fast throughout the year, actually. But look at all these gorgeous poppies that have popped up. The aquiledia's in bloom. And in these 3 plant pots down here, let's see if I can show you. It needs, no, that's a bit of grass has planted itself. Get rid of that, I don't want that growing there. All the aquilegia and general junk that's joined in there. I don't know if you can see, but just popping up in the soil are these little bits of plants here. Have we finally got some sign of the canna lilies that are supposed to be in here? That's a carnation. It was just a non-flowering shoot on a bunch of carnations, which I just broke off and popped in the soil, and with the hope that it would grow. And so far, 3 out of 4 of them seem to have done so. Let's have a look at this one. No sign of anything growing here. But this one's got shoots, look, down there by my fingers. Get rid of the rubbish. Well, I wouldn't call aquilegia rubbish, but I don't want it to completely take over the garden. You'll see what I mean as I go further down the garden. There we go. Lots of poppies here. The forsythia has grown like crazy. It does that every year. Grows like wildfire. Nothing much happening with these, is there? I wonder what they're going to be. I planted them in the autumn. I've got a funny feeling that it might be irises, because if you look at the way the leaf plats like that, that's a bit iris-like, isn't it? I haven't got a clue what they are. I've completely forgotten. I remember planting them, but anyway, we'll see when we'll see when an iris pops up, eh? There's some purple aquilegia and white aquilegia. More poppies. Some lilies coming up in the little raised bed there. Various bits in plant pots. It's in plant pots to stop the dogs stampeding over everything. Grass needs mowing again. That's an endless job, isn't it? Some strawberry plants coming into flower. And fuchsia down there in bud. The love lies bleeding starting to go over now. Come and have a look at these. Absolutely gorgeous. I use that word a lot, I know. Gorgeous aquilegia. They're so beautiful. Look at these. Aren't they lovely? Absolutely lovely. Beautiful, pretty little things. So some people call them Granny's bonnets. Or columbine. Oh, there's a little bee over there. There he is, look. Marvellous. My tulips have gone over, of course, by now. It was dead-headed them the other day. I must sort out that patch of garden, weed it properly and give it a tidy edge. Come and have a look at the cherry tree. All the blossoms off now, of course. And instead, what we've got is the start of the cherry crop. If you look up, You can see a huge rash of what will be cherries. A lot of these drop off though. They always do every year. Lots of them just fall off. And this tree really needs pruning. Desperately. Because at the moment you're having to duck underneath it to walk up the path. Which is a bit of a nuisance. But I'm reluctant to chop it and lose more cherries. I think I'll leave it till autumn and then really hack it back viciously. Look at the rhubarb. In that short time. Huge leaves. It's coming on. And the alyssum has flowered again from last year. Some of the geraniums that I've saved for last year look a bit pitiful. I don't know if I'll bother saving them in future. Look, let me show you what I mean. If I come across here and you can see what I'm talking about. Oh, there's the chives growing up there. There's two geraniums side by side. The miserable one is one that was saved from last year. And the one next to it is 3 little plants from a shop. I've got a big tray of them for next to nothing. Is it worth it? I mean, I think next time I'll just bin them at the end of the summer. Put them on the compost bin. And get new, because they're not quite... You wouldn't call them inspiring, would you? Never mind. That's gardening for you. Some things work, some things don't. As with all things in life. Let's go and have a look at the seedlings. How are we doing? Let's come down here so you can see what you're looking at. Some of them seem to have keeled over. We did have ends on, now they've all fell off. Getting a bit leggy, aren't they? And yet these ones at the front are only just sprouting. The ones at the top haven't done so well at all. Let me just move this so you can see what I'm talking about. I'll lift that up. You see, some of it's come up as little bits of greenery. Other bits haven't done anything at all, which is a bit disappointing. Right, with that I'll go and get me a cup of tea. Good night. I need to finish this watercolour painting. It's a very simple coastal scene. Not quite happy with the water yet. It doesn't need much, it just needs to be darkened a little bit. So there's some Payne's grey, not too over the top, and then a bit of green, so I'll add some lemon yellow. That might sound contradictory, but Payne's grey and lemon yellow make fantastic shades of green. So much better than the manufactured shades, I find. And there's the neighbour's lawnmower kicking off. Can't do a thing about that racket. It's that time of the year where the world is dominated by lawnmowers. It's not that, it's ice cream vans or screaming kids. And those of us who crave peace and quiet have to just grit our teeth and deal with it. That or go and live in a hermitage somewhere, which unfortunately is not an option. It would be nice if it was.